Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Something exciting today. A new radio series. Well, it's not really a new radio. It's been around for a while. But this is the Motorola XTS series. This one in particular, an XTS 5000 Model 2. So, as you can see on the display here, this is Alan Portable. Give her a quick key, another radio just off camera here. I kind of have to hold it at a weird angle, otherwise we're going to get some interference. You might be able to hear it anyway, but you can see we get the nice display change. Who's talking? And to the keen-eared among you, you might be able to hear what protocol we're using on that and what settings we have. Especially if you're paying attention during the XTL series, you're going to find out that the XTL series and the XTS series program nearly identically. I mean, I certainly enjoy that. It makes things a lot easier for me. But anyway, of course, I was also using a another 5000 I've got. We're going to turn this one off. Okay, so. The Motorola XTS series. Okay, there's a couple different versions. They came in a couple different flavors. So first off, there's a couple different models. There's 5000, which you see here. They also had the 2500, the 3000, and the 3500. I want to say that there is a 1500, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think I ever saw it, but I think it's out there. The 3000, XTS 3000, takes a different CPS and programs quite a bit differently. So we'll touch on that the next time I actually get one of those in. I don't actually have one right now, but they're rare. They're an interesting cat, that's for sure. For now, we're going to stick to the 5000. I think that's probably, between the 5000 and the 2500 are probably the most common XTS you're going to run into. So, and among those, they had some different flavors along with that. So, I'm going to switch you over to this other screen here, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so what you see here on the left is the Model 1. In the middle is the Model 2, and on the right is the Model 3. The Model 3 seems to be the most desirable because among hams, because it has all the buttons and stuff on it. Hams love buttons. But I will tell you from experience that the Model 2, the one in the middle, like what I have here, is my radio of choice, as it is probably the more common one you're going to see, and I think is the best bang for your buck, the best all-rounder. The Model 1 is really only for like the basic of the basic. In fact, I think it even has less channels, as I recall. Let's go. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure it actually contained less. Let me got my notes here. I got to refer to my notes. Okay, so the Model 2 and 3, 850 channels. Model 1, 48 channels. So they did give you, there's some limitations there. So there's that. The Model 3, the one with all the buttons, gave you a bit more flexibility when it came to DTMF stuff. But realistically, you've got your 4-way button there on the Model 2. You can scroll to whatever you need to, like if you want to do select call and stuff like that. You can scroll through your contact list. This does mean, of course, that you need to have a correctly set up contact list, etc. But I mean, we'll get into that. So for this video, let's get ourselves acquainted with the 5000. It's a pretty night. Pretty night. Oh my goodness. This is by far my favorite portable, the XTS 5000. I think the Motorola referred to these as the Jedi style. I don't know why. They just did. I have the Commander 2. speaker mic attached to it. As you can see, we have the ability to change channel for the microphone. We can increase and decrease our volume, and we have our emergency button, which of course is reprogrammable in CPS to do a multitude of things. We have our Motorola style clip, or belt clip on the back. You can switch to a Motorola style clip. I think I misspoke there. So this is the belt clip. So your standard, you know, squeezy belt clip. This is rotatable. And with that, you pull this tab and you can slide it off to change out your clips. And you can put a Motorola style clip on there for you firefighters who use radio belts, like I do. That you can clip that onto your radio belt, and it works really, really well. But this is a fantastic speaker mic. Excellent noise canceling. It has a microphone in the back for noise canceling. It works fantastic. Okay, the speaker mic attaches here at our accessory port. Just clips on. You saw this is incidentally the same port that we're going to connect to it to program it. But we'll come to that in a second. You can also get the dust cover to cover that. You know, it just pops off in the same way. This one, they have a loop to hook it over your antenna so you don't lose it. I would recommend using these just so you don't damage your contacts or get them corroded and stuff. There's a nice rubber seal in here, right? And it keeps the dust and the water and the unradio friendly things out of your radio. It is still somewhat sealed even without it, but why take the chance? To kind of continue with that, these are extremely tough radios. This one here in particular, I don't know if you can see there's some scuff marks on this plate. This actually fell off a 400-foot tower and smacked into the tower at some point on the way down, and so it survived pretty much unscathed. So these do not have, I don't have the Impress batteries in these. These are just your standard, I don't even know if they're branded, to be honest with you. Let's look here. Rayovac. They're Rayovac batteries. If you had the Impress batteries, you'd get some more telemetry in the charger. But as it stands, we don't have that. On that note, let's quickly go over the charger. You know, come to think of it, let's just let me grab the charger here. Okay, let me move my microphone. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, so this is the charger I use for this, the Impress adaptive charger. This can charge both a nickel metal hydride battery, which these two radios are currently using. It also will charge the lithium polymer batteries, so keep that in mind. Let's see, what model is this? This is the WPLN 4114AR. It's a fantastic charger. Not only will this do rapid charging, but it will also do reconditioning. You can do automatic or manual reconditioning. It's a constant current charger, rapid charger, and a pulse charger all in one. On the topic of pulse charging, when it goes into pulse charging mode, if you have your radio in the charger and it's on, whenever your squelch opens and someone's talking, if it's doing the pulse charging, you may hear a popping sound in the received audio. If that be the case, you can flip your charger over and you can switch this little switch from position A. Trying to get a nice shot of it there for you. But yeah, you just have to trust me there. From position A to position B, you flip that switch in, and that should remedy that for you. However, I would note that Motorola recommends that you don't operate your radio while it's in the charger, simply because it extends charging time. Okay, if you can live with that, then fine, I guess. But I typically don't. I mean, my radios are off in there because I have a mobile radio, base radio anyway, so I don't need to use my portable when it's in a charger. Here's your indicator light when you plop the radio down on the charger. You first put it in there, it's going to turn red. A steady red means it's charging. Steady green means it's charged. Flashing green means it's just about charged. Flashing amber means there's a temperature issue or the voltage is out of range. A solid amber means it's in reconditioning mode. And it is best to leave your radio in the charger. Like if you don't need to use it, if you don't need it, just leave it there and let it do its reconditioning. Basically what it does is it discharges the battery fully and then it recharges it. It just extends your life of your battery. If you put it in the charger and it switches to red and it's doing a rapid charge and you want to force it into a recondition, you can just pull it back out of the charger and then set it right back in, and then it will go into a forced recondition. Same thing if you want to pull it out of a recondition and force it into a rapid charge. You just pop it out of the charger and pop it right back in, and it'll go into a rapid charge, manual rapid charge. So pretty intelligent little charger. I highly recommend using this charger with this radio or any Motorola radio in general. They're absolutely fantastic, and you will vastly extend the life of your battery with this charger. Okay, that's enough on the charger. Back to the radio. Like I said, this is the Model 2. Okay, so we have our four-way button here. Currently, I don't have that much programmed into it for it to change, but you can see our soft buttons do change in here. I have the clock on there, so I can bring up the time and date. I have noticed that I'm off an hour on my time. That's fantastic. I suppose I could go in there and edit it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to right now. Push your home button to get back. You hear that low tone. That means that option is not available right now. So there's your scroll button on the side. The big button, that's your PTT button, your go button, the, I'm talking button kind of thing. So obviously you push that to talk. These two buttons here, 1 dot, 2 dot is how they're referenced in CPS. So when you're going to program your buttons, you can reconfigure these to do whatever you want. I typically do it for zone up and zone down because we have our channel knob at the top. So zone up, zone down is typically how I have it configured. This button here I have set for monitor. So when I push it, it opens up our squelch so we can listen to the cosmic background noise. On the top, we have our 3-position switch, A, B, and C. These are also configurable in CPS. Typically what I do is I'll pick one of them. Doesn't matter which one. You can do whatever you want. But I pick one of them for key lock. I'll flip that up. That way I don't accidentally push a button, when I'm using the radio, where it's on my belt or something. Then the other one I have for different features and stuff. My emergency button I have currently configured for my backlight. Typically in a deployment setting, this is going to be your man down button or your emergency button. There's a whole lot of settings in that. We'll get into that later. We'll touch on it briefly because typically in amateur radio you're not going to be messing around with the emergency features on these radios unless you really want to. It's kind of fun. You can use them for other purposes too. Our channel knob, of course, this is backlit as well with a green light. So this is the channel knob up here. This is your eccentric switch. It's 2-position. Sorry, it's on the back here where you actually move your finger. So you can see our little pointer moves. Typically, what you would use this for is your encryption on and off, or your secure or clear channel communications. In amateur radio, you're not allowed to do encryption. So typically, I just use this for scan on and off. Is what I use that for. And then, of course, I already covered our channel knob, our volume knob, power, on, off, and volume, obviously. Our antenna, clearly, and our accessory port / programming port. On the back, we have our belt clip, our charging pins down here, contacts. On the bottom, button to release the battery. Okay. Turn the radio off, give it a second to power off, push the button, push the battery away from the radio, and pull it off. Okay. It's just that easy, really. So I think that about covers the introduction to the XTS 5000, and in fact the XTS series in general. So let's touch on programming here for a second, because I know that's going to be the next question I get. I got a link somewhere around here. I'll put it in the video description to the CPS that I use. Let me actually pull it up so I know what version I'm using, so I can tell you. Currently, my version is R20.01. Version R20.01.00. So that's the version of CPS I'm using, and you can find it out for free. I mean, it's out there. Like I said, I'll put it if I can. I know I got a link somewhere. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. And then you're also going to need a programming cable. Let's switch screens here again. Okay, so this is the programming cable that that I use. This is who it's from. This guy is fantastic to work with. All of his stuff is extremely high quality. So I have zero issues with buying these from him. It's absolutely fantastic. So the version I have, the version I have has the serial connector at the end of it instead of the USB. They both work equally as well. I bought mine many years ago, which is why it has the serial connector on it. Using it on this computer that I'm on now, I use a serial USB adapter, and it works just fine. So the price is 41 bucks. You know, don't buy a cheap one, okay? Just buy this one. And this is cheap. If you were to buy, I don't think you can get this from Motorola anymore, but it was several $100s from the mothership if you wanted to buy this from them. But yeah, so I'll also leave a link to this in the description as well. But generally, if you go to eBay and you search the XTS 5000 programming cable, you're going to land on this guy pretty quick. So, okay, so that's our programming cable. We've talked about the charger. We've gone through an introduction of the radio. We've gone over the buttons and such like. So the XTS series. This is going to be fun. I think we're really going to enjoy this. So the next video, we're going to cover our basic programming. We're going to go over the minimum that you need to do to get this thing on the air, right? So, I mean, the absolute bare settings to get this thing on the air. Maybe a little bit of polish on there to make it usable, or you know, at least a little bit more enjoyable to use. So we'll cover that in the next video. So again, my name is Alan, N0ZFG. I hope this has helped you. I hope this entire series helps you. I know when I was first getting into the commercial radio market or field, none of this information's out there, or if it was extremely hard to find, or you had to go to web forums and just be accosted because you didn't know. So just know you won't be accosted here on this channel. I will certainly never be mean to you. The only silly question is the unasked question. So feel free to ask away. Even if you think it's dumb, just go ahead and ask it. All right. Keep in mind, we were not born innately with this information. We all have to learn somewhere, right? So, I guess the only thing we can really talk about is this radio right for amateur radio use? Absolutely, it is. Sure, the icons and the Yaesus and you know, those sorts of radios are fantastic too. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with them. They're absolutely wonderful. But if you want something that's never going to let you down, ever, this is the way to go right here. They're a bit heavier, a bit chunkier, you know, than your typical ICOM or Yaesu. No, they don't have as many channels on it. You can't put 5,000 channels in your scan list. But there again, that's back to this is these radios were built for public safety, where you know, performance over that kind of other frilly stuff mattered, right? You want your scanning to be fast, You don't want to miss any communications. So that's why we're limited on our scan lists and channels and such like. So if you have the Model 3, this is an interesting side note. If you have the Model 3, the one with the full keypad on it, you can do front panel programming. So you can type in your frequencies and your PL tones and stuff right from the front panel if you really want to. But honestly, I wouldn't waste your time. If you put a little bit of effort into it, learn CPS. And part of that effort is to planning out your code plug, the file that you're going to put into this radio. You have all the frequencies that you're going to want to use on a regular basis in one zone, and another zone maybe is the frequencies you don't use as much, and still another zone for frequencies you use even less than that, or maybe you've got one for Skywarn or one for Weather Channel, things like that. We'll use this as an example. So here's my simplex analog. We can scroll through them. So there's my Weather Channel, my local public safety, business band analog, the local fire department, local ham repeaters. And keep in mind, these are zones I'm going through, not channels. These are zones. I got a bunch of channels per zone. My digital simplex, and then we're back to my analog simplex. And of course, if we go through that, of course, then we've got all the different channels that are in there. Okay, that's it. Introduction to XTS. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's helpful. I'll see you in the next video where we start programming this bad boy. All right. This is N0ZFG out.